Hey, what's up guys, your boy Nick, and we are back with another video. So for today's video guys, I'm going to be doing a low fade on my boy Husky, and I'm also going to be cleaning up his beard too as well. So if you guys are ready to get into the tutorial, let's get it. So before every cut, you want to make sure you comb or brush out your client's hair, check for any imperfections, and make sure you're brushing it down into the direction of the growth pattern. So for his cut today, we're going to be using a number 1. He likes to get it low, so we're going to do this number 1 on top. It's a little bit lower than wavelength, but it's still going to leave his hair looking dark on top. Now somebody with waves, you want to make sure you go with the grain, because if you go against the grain, you can cut all those waves out. So make sure you go with the grain. So we're going to go ahead and start to set our first guideline. Now I'm going to set this guideline with my magic clips, and I'm going to start right above the top of his ear, and I'm going to drop it down in the back right below his parietal ridge, and I'm going to run this all the way around his head. Now the reason I started with my magic clips instead of my T outliners is because it doesn't leave such a hard line, and I'm just going to come back and clean up the hair at the bottom with the T outliners later. So now I'm going to go ahead and set my second guideline. So I'm going to open up the lever on the side of my magic clips to all the way open, and I'm just going to run this line all the way around his head following the shape of my initial guideline. So right now guys, we're just setting up the foundation for this haircut. So I'm going to go ahead with my number 1 guard, lever all the way open, and I'm going to set my third guideline. Now the reason you want to set guidelines guys is because it keeps you more organized, and it also helps your cuts come out more consistent. And since I already have the number 1 guard on the clipper, I'm going to start to fade out his beard a little bit. And for some barbers out there, I know you guys like to set your guidelines and go ahead and knock them out as you go up. Me personally, I like to see my guidelines all laid out and then work my way down. It's just my personal preference. It's really no right way or wrong way to do it. It's all up to you. So now with my 1.5 guard, lever all the way open, I'm not going to set another guideline. I'm just going to flick at this bulk up top, and I'm going to use the lever on the side and open and close it as need be. Like I said, I don't want to set another guideline. I just want to soften up this bulk as much as possible. So now I'm just going to work this number 1.5 guard all the way around his head, making sure to go between open and close and flicking out when I get to the top of his head. Alright, so now I have my half guard on the clipper. Now I skipped the number 1 guard, and I'm just going to work below where I set this guideline with this half guard. I might come back in detail with the 1 guard, but we're just going to go ahead and work with this half guard. Now when I'm cutting, I like to just work on this one side with this half guard, and then my clipper all the way open with no guard, and then I work on the other side. I just found that it works easier. I just take the half guard off, keep it in my hand, and I just throw it on back and forth when need be, instead of having to spin the Clyde around and pick up the guard, put it down again. I just found this works easier. It's real easy to hold in my hand. So this is something that I've been doing, and hopefully this can help somebody out there, help them speed up their cuts a little bit. So just go ahead and give it a try and let me know what you guys think about it. So now I'm continuing to work with my clipper with no guard, lever all the way open, and just trying to buff out the residual of the first guideline that I set. And I'm just playing with that lever on the side, going from open to close and back open when I get closer to where I set that guideline at. So boom, that's the fade. So now I'm coming back with my T outliners. I'm just going to clean up this hair at the bottom. Like I said earlier, you could have started by balding out your client at first. Me, I just like doing this, switching it up. And I think it kind of helps me see the blend come into place, you know, from the hair at the bottom and the hair at top, able to see that darkness to darkness and see the fade in between. So I don't know if that made sense, but yeah, that's one of the reasons why I do it. And also too, I just like to get right into the fade. So yeah, and since I already have the T outliners in my hand, I'm just going to go ahead and start to clean up his beard. Now he wants to keep the length, so we're just going to be basically doing an edge up on his beard and then coming back with my shears to clean up any wild hairs. So as you guys can see, my boy Husky, he's cracking up. Every time he comes through, man, it's a good time. He was actually one of the people, him and my boy Josh JP, they were kind of the first two people I started rocking with when I moved out to Houston. So it's always a good time when he comes through. So as you guys can see though, we just faded down his beard, and we're gonna use my wall detailers to go ahead and line up that top line. So now we're just going to continue to do the same thing on this side of the head. Go straight to that half guard, work with the lever from open to close, and I'm going to drop down to the clipper with no guard and continue to buff out that first guideline. And I think on this side I did have to come back with the number 1 guard. His hair growth pattern is a little bit different on this side, so I did kind of have to come back with that 1 guard and, you know, do some spot detailing. But it's pretty much going to be the same thing, and then I'm going to go straight into lining up his beard and fading out the sides too as well. And yeah guys, I'm just gonna let you guys check out this side and then come back in when we start the edge up. And real quick guys, don't be afraid to go back and do some detail work. As you guys can see, I have no guard on my clippers with the lever all the way open, and I'm just playing with that lever on the side and going back and doing some detail work. Sometimes you need to look away and do something else. That's why I went ahead and started to fade out his beard, and then I came back and saw some spots that I needed to buff out a little bit. And definitely don't be afraid to go back and do some spot work. So now for the edge up, I like to start in the middle and then work my way out. I normally like to go towards the highest side so I can go ahead and establish the line and then come back and make the other side match that side. So I'm starting in the middle, working my way out, and then I'll work on his vertical bars and then make it connect into his beard with the arches. And I found that these silver FXs, these really come clutch when it comes to doing these arches. I don't know if it's because of the thin blade, but I like to switch from my wall detailers to these silver FXs to do the arches. I don't know, I feel like they just come out so smooth. Maybe it's the blade, I don't know, but I knocked his mustache down with my number 1 guard on my clipper. I found this is a good length, so when I come back and hit it with my wall detailers, his mustache comes out crispy. So now I'm just gonna finish up this edge up, but matching it to the side that I already have established, remembering to keep it straight and symmetrical. And if you need to, go ahead and face your client in the direction of the mirror. You know, the mirror never lies, so if it's straight in the mirror, it's gonna be straight when somebody looks at them. So this fade is already turning out crispy, so I'm gonna hit it with the razor and then come back, put some little moisturizing cream on top, and then do some refining with my shears. And yeah, this cut is gonna come out crispy, guys. So now for this razor, guys, you just want to make sure you stretch your client's skin and hold that razor at a 45-degree angle and do smooth, consistent strokes. And if you feel more comfortable, or if it makes you feel more comfortable, you can go ahead and lean your client back. So I went ahead and did that, and now I'm just coming back and refining with the razor, making sure this cut comes out as crispy as possible. And it's already looking good, guys, from what I'm seeing right here. So I just added some moisturizing cream to help his waves pop out, and then I'm gonna come back with these shears in detail and get all these wild hairs, and then we're gonna come back with the before and after. Alright guys, so here's the before. And here's the after. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, my boy Husky, every time he comes through, it's a good time. So you guys be on the lookout for more videos. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button. It really helps out my channel. And until next time, guys, I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace.